Yes, it says it's recording. It's recording right now. It is 12:09, just after noon Pacific time here on the 22nd of November, 2025. Thanks everybody for joining live. It's going to be an exciting call. So we're going to run through kind of the itinerary, the ask, of the commitment level that we're expecting. We're going to go through some fundraising and going to tell who's involved with the coaching. So, first off, my name is Brant. I am the director of Grit. I started Grit just after the pandemic, and we've been going every year since. So we have had some great alumni go on to play in college, and a lot of players that are still in high school that are still around, like Zach and Cooper and James. Hopefully, we can get in the mix too. So, started it to help kids get connections, make relationships with other people that have similar goals. I know I had a great experience when I was playing club basketball in high school, and so I want to give those opportunities to families and kids as well. So, Grit Greece. We decided this last summer, Joel, Jesse, Coach Willis, we were sitting around chit-chatting, and we're like, man, I want these kids to stretch their comfort zone and get out of what they're used to. I think a lot of growth can happen when you're traveling and out of the area that you're used to. And so, a friend and colleague that I met while actually at the Final Four in Phoenix, 2024, so a year and a half ago, through another friend, was playing basketball in the United States, but is from Greece. So Athanasia, when she came to the United States, Nancy was easier. So I try to pronounce her name most of the time, but
You got it
Nancy
well, don't
works.
worry.
I'm not the best at it, but I try. But Nancy played at Illinois in Champaign, and then did 2 years at Cal State Fullerton. So that's where she got her master's degree. And what was the degree in, Nancy?
In tourism development.
Tourism development. And a 6 year NCAA athlete, and spent another year, I believe, working in California before moving
Mhm.
back to Greece. Got the itch, got that basketball itch, and decided she was working out and getting better and stronger and in shape, and decided to go back and play professional basketball in her home country of Greece. So she is now a professional basketball player. When I message her, sometimes she's at team dinners and doing all the stuff that pro athletes do, rehab and recovery. But couldn't think of a better person to help us with this trip. So, a travel consultant that has a master's degree that is from the country that we're traveling, that is a current professional player that is just dynamic. And we've had some great conversations, and she's introduced me to some of the most amazing people. Ibrahim is a guy that we sent the shoes down there to him. So I know Zach helped with that. Dave, I thank you guys. Cooper, so we sent shoes to Africa, and they landed, and now we're seeing them on the feet of these kids. So that was the connection that I met through Nancy. Also got connected with Kiara, who is amazing woman. She was the assistant national team coach for Switzerland at 26 years old. Men's, did I say men's?
She was
That's
23 or 24 actually. She was 24 then.
that is think
Yeah.
about that. Like, she's younger than these men that, you know how men have egos sometimes, especially these are the best players in the country. Like Swiss national team. Men. and she's 23, 24 years old, coaching as an assistant coach. And now she works MBA. And I know Nancy and her went to MBA Paris together. And now Kiara's in Abu
Abu
Dhabi or
Dhabi.
United or
Yeah, in Abu
Abu
Dhabi.
Dhabi doing MBA, working for the
In
NBA.
EuroLeague events.
Euro
Yeah.
League, doing all sorts of amazing stuff. And so, thank you for that introduction, Nancy. Doing a lot of amazing stuff. But Nancy joined us today, and I know has a lot going, like we mentioned, with her professional basketball career and the time differences. We had to work around the time changes. So, Nancy, thank you so much for joining us and helping us with this trip. And I don't know if there's anything else that you want to add about your background. I'll get into some of the details about the trip, and you're welcome to jump in. But is there anything else you want to say as an introduction?
First of all, you did an amazing introduction. Thank you so much. Um, and I think even the way you started off the conversation, like even how we met and the people we've connected with, it's all thanks to basketball. It's really thanks to this orange ball. Like when I got the opportunity when I was in high school, and got the scholarship and came in the US, moved across the country all by myself, it really opened so many doors for me. You know, you meet so many people, all these different backgrounds and cultures, you connect, and then later on in life, you never know what can come up, like us here right now. Um, and the basketball itch that you talk about, you know, it never really leaves you. And another reason when I moved back to Greece and I'm like, I have my travel business and I want to be an athlete again. Um, it's the community that basketball has. And playing your sport is one thing, but especially as you grow older and a bit later on, because when you're very young, you know, sometimes you're in high school now, you're not really gonna really see how big it is when you meet and you play with all these athletes from all different backgrounds and cultures and trips you do. But a bit later on, when you grow up a little bit, you see how impactful that has been in your life. Even now, like I'm playing it's called Kos Island. It's in the southern part of Greece. It's right across from Turkey, and we're in the A2 league here. And we have some foreign players coming in, but not that many. And even from them coming in our country and seeing they do these different things, learning the different language, you can really see how this affects you as a person, especially like with the journey I've had and the journeys these athletes having. Um, and that's why I think this trip is going to be very significant for all of you, because it's not like you're going to another country just for vacation. You're going there through basketball. And you will get to meet other Greek players, other Greek teams. You're gonna do all the nice cultural activities to see the country, the food, see how life is so slower here. And then you can see what, you know, there's some things that you will keep in for your lifestyle, and then later on you're just gonna see how much this really affects you. And I think this will be a very beautiful experience for the athletes, of course, because you will get to see, you know, basketball. There's no different, the language doesn't matter. You know, it's the same game with your bodies, you just play the game. And I think it would be very good for the parents to join as well, and any family that wants to come to see your players experience that with them and experience this new culture with them. And it's all thanks to the sport, because even if you don't end up playing professionally, or you do, or you play just in college and then you pursue a different career, um, it can take you in so many different avenues, and you're in such a good position to use it. And I think now, especially that you're young starting out, this is the best time to start singing a little bit further and see how much more you can create out of it. And so for me, like I studied tourism and travel, and I worked in luxury hospitality both in LA, and I actually worked in that in Greece for a couple of months before I stopped and fully focused on my travel agency right now. And I have a very good experience in planning trips for big groups. And especially now that you are coming in Greece, we can kind of connect you with many nice local teams and make sure you have a very good localized experience. Because I don't want you coming here and doing all the big and touristy things. We want you to have a very good, authentic experience. So I'm really looking forward to that. And if you have any questions or any concerns, let's say, or any doubts, let's say, whatever comes up to mind, feel free to contact me at any time. I'm sure Coach has all the answers too. But I'm here for you. And yeah. Brown, back to you.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, that is so exciting to have somebody with your background and knowledge helping plan it, Nancy. So thank you so much. And so we will keep going with a little bit more information about the actual trip. But I do want to just point out that we have this guy here that popped up.
Hello.
So Jack is in the house. But pretty, oh wow, look at that. You disappeared. Look, you're behind the hat. Where'd you go? Look at that. They have their Max Hoops shirt, their grit shirt on. Look at that.
Hello, little
Yeah,
Viner.
look who else popped up. You say hi, Maggie?
Where's Maggie? Oh, hi, Maggie. Happy Saturday, Megs.
Do you see the people? Do you see Cooper and Jenny?
Cute.
And Dave is up there, and Zach, and
Hi,
Nancy.
hi Maggie. Hi Jack. Good to see you guys.
Yeah, look at them. See the people in there? Remember? Oh yeah, being shy guy. And you if you put your hat over your face.
Last time we saw you guys was on the basketball court at a grit practice. It's great to see you kids.
Yeah, they're doing good. Jack, I don't know if he's gonna love basketball like I do, but he's gonna spend a lot of time in the gym growing up.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna love it. He loves basketball already. All right, buddy. I'm gonna finish up this call. All right, bud. All right. I'm gonna relocate upstairs here, and then that way a little less distractions. They got their groceries for the week, and now they're home, and mom is home too. So we will say, I'll see you in a little bit, Max. See you, Jackie. Bye. Let's see, we'll go over here. All right, so the plan of attack. It is getting to be time to act because of flights and passports and just everything that we need to get done. So the plan is we'll fly out of LAX and that is March 21st, I believe, is the plan of attack that will
The
fly out the
20th.
20th,
20th. And you
20th.
arrive in Athens the 21st.
That makes sense. Okay, because you kind of lose a day. So that is the Friday before spring break. So that is the
LAX.
Friday. Hey, James.
Hey,
How's it going? I just
oh,
didn't know if
you
you were
heard
gonna
the
hang
old
up
man.
and
That's James number two, not James number three.
I didn't know if you guys knew you were off the mic, hot mic. So we'll leave that 20th, and then the following week's the Oregon spring break, and we would have them back for school on the 30th. So they might be tired, might be a little jet lagged, but they would be back on that Monday. So we're planning two stops, two cities with two games, playing friendly games against local competition, and we'll have some grit stuff made. We'll have some coins. We'll make some coins that will deliver. I know you got a coin, Zach, right? You have a grit coin, right? So we'll have coins made. Pretty cool. So we will make some things to give them from us as a gift. And it is fun that they'll be able to see. I know you guys have Instagrams and you'll be able to keep track of each other and follow. And I think that's going to be pretty fun. So we'll do two games and then a clinic. So we're working on Athanasia's dad is a coach and she has connections. So I think elementary, middle school aged. I'll help run it with Coach Willis, Coach Jesse, Coach Bobby. So we'll do a clinic and help kind of coach some kids and show that basketball is a universal language. And even if they, you know, it's pretty wild. University of Portland this year has 15 players. Six of them were born in the United States. Think about that, you guys. So when we're talking about college opportunities, not only are you competing against other kids in other states for scholarships, you're competing against kids from around the world. So that's where we keep our grades up. I'm not talking to the kids on this call because I know they do. I'm talking to whoever's watching this on replay that maybe is a 2.9, 3.1. Get them up. Because the better your grades are, the more options you'll have, right? So we don't need to go down that road. I've chirped that the people that know me or have been around a lot know that the better your grades are, the more options you'll have. So, clinic with youth and teaching that basketball is a unifying game, and we'll run that clinic. And so we'll do 2 games in a clinic. We'll also get to see some of the famous Greece landmarks, and we'll get to see some of the local hotspots because we have a local guide. We'll have somebody there helping us. So I don't speak Greek, so we'll have somebody to help us if there is language barriers. Basketball speaks worldwide, but sometimes in restaurants it will be helpful to have somebody that can help us translate. But the cost is $3,100 if you act soon. It is going to be a little bit of a sliding scale. We're taking 10 boys. Families are welcome. Obviously, it would be additional costs, but parents are welcome. We'd love to have you travel, but if not, you'll have myself, Coach Willis, John Willis. If you don't know John Willis, you can Google him. JONWILLIS. What you talking about? John Willis. And then Joel Jesse, who you can also Google. Nice thing is I feel comfortable saying you can Google our coaches. There's some programs that say don't do your research. Don't Google me. Don't check into my background. Literally, there's some people that don't want you to Google their names. And when people say, oh, I'm gonna play for them, I just say, hey, Google them. I'm not saying anything bad. I don't need to be the guy that says they got a police criminal record and felonies. Like, Google them. But Joel was the head coach at Grants Pass High School, my alma mater for 5 years, was a girls coach at Hidden Valley and won a state championship. Cooper's High School and James, that's here on the call. So he won a state title. He's coming with us. And then Bobby Hunter, who is from Reno, played at Bishop Minogue in Reno. I tried to get him to come to Southern Oregon when I was coaching. Unfortunately, went to OIT over in Klamath, and his freshman year they won the national championship. And Bobby Hunter was national. He was MVP of the national tournament as a freshman. So Bobby's coming with us. Then after that, he left OIT and went to a junior college where he led the nation in scoring and was a first-team All-American, and transferred to Southern Illinois, where he was a Division I player. So Bobby's awesome. He's now in law enforcement in Reno. Really good guy, and he's going to coach a spring Grit Reno team. So there will be 2 spring Oregon Grit teams and 1 Grit Reno team this spring. So Bobby's coming along with us, and he is obviously a hell of a player. He's in multiple Hall of Fames already, and he's not that old of a guy. He's obviously older than you guys, but not as old as I am. I was coaching when he was in high school, so Bobby's a pretty young guy to have multiple Hall of Fames, both as a team at OIT and as an individual at the junior college that he went to in Florida. So that's the 4 coaches. So if you can't make it, parents, their kids are in good hands. We will be doing a 6-week captain's course. leading up to the trip. So $3,100 if you act soon includes the captain's course that Coach Willis and myself have developed and are continuing to develop. That will be an online program where we'll meet on Zoom 1 or 2 times a week. Most weeks will be 2 times. We'll have a few guest speakers, a few guest interviews, and then we'll have assignments on leadership and development lessons that we think will help the players prepare to be leaders. Maybe the captain of their team. You don't have to be the captain to be the leader of your team. I'll say that again. You don't have to be the captain to be the leader. And the leader is not just the one that yells at other people. The leader gives the most high fives, the most fist bumps. That's the leader. You don't have to be the captain to be the leader. But we're going to teach a captain's course on just kind of lessons that we think will help prepare the players to be the captain of their team or just have a better life as a leader. So that'll be 6 weeks leading up to this trip, with that being the culmination. Some kids are just coming to Greece with grit. Some kids will stick with grit and play for the spring summer season with Coach Lunt. Coach Lunt won't be making the trip, but he will be coaching grit with us in the spring. But so that's who's going to be coaching and leading the trip. We'll be working, like I said, with the players leading up. We're selecting 10 players that we'll take, and that 3,100 includes uniforms and some travel sweats, and then the captain's course, the flights, the lodging, ground transportation, English interpreter, everything on the trip, and 1 meal a day. We have some generous sponsors that are helping, and I'm reaching out to more sponsors trying to help. So at least 1 meal. If we get enough support and I'm getting enough help, then we might be able to cover both meal or not both, 2 meals a day. So we'll try. We're gonna try to do what we can. But with Nancy's help, I feel like it's a great value. I feel like it's a pretty good deal. It's not cheap, but it's valuable. Cheap doesn't always equal best, and so we're trying to add value and make it as memorable and remarkable and epic trip as possible. And so that's not us getting rich. That's us coaches having to fundraise for our own trip. We're trying to make it to where families can do it. It is definitely an investment, but I feel like with what the players are getting, it's going to be a memorable trip. So, fundraisers, we are working on how we can help you as families and players kind of earn it. So obviously, uh, would love for the parents to be able to help because we are going to be asking for at least a down payment soon because we need to get the flights locked in for the reasonable price that we have. We need to get the flights locked in. So we will be asking parents for a deposit soon of half. And then if families can swing the whole thing, that's great. But what we're encouraging is to have the players really hustle and work to come up with the balance. If you have the resources or funds to fund it all as parents, that's awesome. And thank you. And I know your kids and I appreciate it. But I think the players having a little skin in the game, making some of their sacrifices and learning that lesson that you can only spend your dollars once is something that I would like to encourage families to do because there's kids all the time that say, well, I can't afford it, but they're drinking a Dutch Bros. They got a Jamba Juice earlier in the day. They have the Jordan 11s that I wish I had, right? So I think that's a lesson that kids can learn balancing, budgeting, not overspending. So, like I said, it is going to fall some on the parents because we are asking for that fairly soon. But the players, we are going to do some fundraisers. We're going to do Jamba Juice, where you sell a discount card and they get to keep a piece or like half of the sale. And then, but I think starting to think about people who might be willing to help. So start putting together, okay, uncles, aunts, grandmas, grandpas who might be able to chip in 10, $50, $100 towards your trip. And I think we're going to talk about how we can break that down to where I feel like people sometimes feel better about knowing what that's going towards. So when I'm talking to sponsors, I'm not just saying, hey, do you want to donate? I'm saying, hey, do you want to sponsor a meal? So that way I can include, so that way when we have that meal, actually one of the kids, I say kids, he's 27 now, Mason Brains has already agreed to cover a couple meals and come speak about how he took Max Hoops and he's become a successful, he does conferences and workshops and has courses on how to use funnels to get business. So he's helped his mom, who's an artist, to have like a multi-million dollar business because of the leads that are generated because of his search engine. I don't know. But Mason's an incredibly intelligent, passionate young man that is doing pretty well financially. And so he wants to be able to give back to Max Hoops and Grit. So that's really cool. So he's going to be sponsoring some meals on the trip. And so we'll be writing a thank you letter to him as all the players. Gratitude, grit. The start of grit is gratitude. So every player will write him a thank you note on the trip. Handwritten notes are valuable nowadays because they're rare. It's easy to send a text or an email, but a handwritten note can differentiate you and stand out and takes a little more time, but that time is responded what or is valuable and pays dividends. So Mason's going to come talk one of the sessions of Captain's Course. So what I started talking about Mason was he's going to sponsor a meal. So we'll take a picture of that meal. Obviously, he'll know that that's the meal he sponsored, and that way he knows what it's going towards. So we'll help you kind of parcel out that $3,100 and where it's going. So that way you can say to grandma, hey, grandma, do you want to help with my ground transportation while I'm in Greece? That's $150 or whatever it is, right? So that way I think we also have, if there's people that want to sponsor more or a business, we will have opportunities to put their logo on the back of our Grit Grease shirts. So anybody that sponsors $250 or more can have their name or their logo put on the back of our Grit Grease shirts that we'll be wearing. So that's something that you can kind of sell, I guess, to families or more businesses or grandma, grandpa, or whatever. Somebody that might want to sponsor $250 to put their logo on the back of the shirts is advertising. So that's something you can sell. Sales is a great skill to learn as a young man. You're always selling. You're always selling something. I see Dave nodding his head because my job is sales. I'm selling a university, as an assistant director of admissions. As a basketball coach, I was recruiting, selling the university to recruits. I'm selling kids as a coach that, hey, this is the best thing for us to do as a team. That's selling it. That's trying to get them to buy in. They're buying, you're selling. I have a beautiful wife. That's sales, like you have to be able to sell. So being able to talk to people and feel comfortable and confident. And that's what I want you to feel is confident that this is a life-changing opportunity. And you have to believe that, Zach, Cooper, James, everybody that's on this call, because if you believe it, it shows. And if you're selling something and you don't believe in it, it's harder to sell. It's hard to sell it if you don't believe in it. Hopefully that makes sense. That's why I love working at Pacific and selling Pacific to students is because I think they will come here and love it. I don't sell it to every kid because not every kid's going to come here and love it. But I feel like with this trip, this is a life-changing opportunity for 16, 17, 18-year-old kids. So if you believe that and you're willing to hustle and not feel like, well, what if they say no? Who cares? If you go to businesses in Grants Pass, if you go to businesses in Damascus and Gresham and they say no, next, next, who cares? This is life-changing. If you believe that, then you're not going to care if 95 people tell you no. You're going to go for that next one. 5% of people might say yes if you ask them for $100. 5%. But you got to get through that 19 to get to that one. So if you're passionate about this trip, we want you to come and and I say that to the three of you that are on the call, and you have been selected as one of the 10 if you want that spot. But if you're watching this on replay, you'll some of you that are watching on replay have been offered a spot. Some of you need to reach out and make sure that there is spots available. But if you think this is life changing, you want this, we want to work with you, but we also need the commitment up front because there is people that say they're going to work and don't. And so that's where the deposit comes in, and then the players have to hustle. And like I said, you might get told no, and that's okay. If you want a beautiful girl to go out with you, you might get shot down a few times. I got told no, I won't go on a date with you, but I also got told yes sometimes. Sometimes it's because people are like, she's just gonna go out with you because you have a nice car. So what? That's why I have a nice car. But you have to be if you're a perfectionist, you'll be worried about people saying no. I don't think people should be perfectionists because that it's progress over perfection. If you're having to be perfect, you're going to be afraid to fail. And if you're afraid to fail, then many times you're afraid to try. So you have to be okay with somebody telling you no in sales, in dating, in life. No, big deal. Next. Like you're gonna get shot down, you're gonna have hard days, you're gonna get rejected. You're not, but if you think something's life changing, you need that dream board. I'm gonna put one together for me that has a picture of Greece and has a basketball and it has a picture of all the kids that have committed that I need to raise more meals for, that I need to help cut down the cost for. Like that's gonna be motivation for me. And that's that my daughter that you saw, my son that you saw, that's what gets me up in the morning and gets me fired up and gets me to where I work. And so find your dream board, find what it is that motivates you to get told no, to get laughed at. Who cares? That's why I love kids that have school spirit. Who cares if it's dorky to dress up like on Spirit Week? Do it. Who cares? Those that mind don't matter, and that those that matter won't mind because it's cool. Have school spirit, show up, stretch, be a little goofy. And that's something that I love about Cooper that's on is he's not afraid to have some school spirit. He's not afraid to have friends that are uniquely able, that are different. The first time I talked to Cooper and his mom, we talked for over an hour, and I don't think we even talked about basketball. Like I was like, oh shoot, we probably should have talked about basketball, but it was about like my daughter's special needs and everything he's done with the special needs community. And those are the people that are coming on this trip. We're not picking the best 10 basketball players to come on this trip. We're picking the 10 players that we think we want to be around for the 6 weeks leading up to this trip, and the 10 kids that we want to travel with, and families too. Dave, Jenny, Sonny, whoever can come with the kids that we're asking to join us. If we didn't, if we didn't, if I didn't like you, Dave, we wouldn't be inviting you. So the fact that you show up, that you're engaged and appreciative of the opportunities that we've been able to provide, like we want you guys to come on this trip. Jenny already volunteered to be kind of the team mom and help with the snacks and the goodies, and she knows that it's not kissing up to the coaches, but it's not going to hurt Cooper's chances of me sticking my neck out for him, right? Getting good grades. There's kids that are really good at basketball that I don't recommend to college coaches because they're flaky. They don't show up. They're not dependable. Even if they're good, I'm not going to ruin my reputation by sticking my neck out for a kid that's going to get in trouble shoplifting or not be a good teammate or not put the program first. Like, I'm not going to stick my neck out for that kid. Like, I know TJ pretty well, your coach, the varsity coach, Zach. So I wouldn't say, hey, Zach's a good kid if you didn't show gratitude, if you didn't work your ass off at the Max Hoops camps. Like I'm not gonna risk putting my name behind a player that but the fact that when we're at camps, you come up during water breaks and say, hey, thanks, great job on that. That's the stuff that gets you in favor with the coaches and why I'm gonna help you however I can, right? If it's playing basketball, if it's a letter of recommendation for a college, same thing with you, Cooper. It's bigger than just basketball. And that's something that we're gonna learn. That's why having names on the screen and doing details matter. Details matter. Ace the easy stuff and details matter, right? So ace the easy stuff. If it's easy, you shouldn't get B's on the assignments. Oh, it's easy. I'm just going to coast through and get a B. No, ace it because when the hard shit happens, you're going to need that A to average out the C to get the B. But if you get the B and then the tough assignment comes and you get the C, then you got a B minus or a C plus. So ace the easy stuff. If it takes no effort, be a superstar at it. High fives cost you nothing. High fives might be the most underrated quality in a player. Underrated. Good vision, being able to pass the ball and seeing things, that's kind of underrated. IQ is underrated, but being an excellent teammate is underrated by a lot of people, not by me. I celebrate players in their role. If I tell you to set good screens and rebound and you do it well, I'm going to celebrate you. If I tell you to make shots and get to the bucket and stop settling for jump shots and you do it, I'm going to celebrate you. If you start just saying, no, I know more, I'm going to keep shooting threes. No, I don't want you to do that. Do what I tell you. If you want to talk about it after the game or practice, I'm willing to have that discussion. But in the heat of the battle, you do what we say. It's not a democracy. It's more like a dictatorship. But I could also willing to listen later. But in the heat of the moment, we're going my way. And I'll ask during timeouts, like, hey, what do you guys see out there? What do you think? But when we make a decision, there's no second guessing it, right? But I get excited and I ramble, I digress, but I know Nancy's got a lot to do. If there's anything, Nancy, I appreciate you joining so much. And because it is night, I can see it is late there. So I do appreciate you staying up. And do you have games coming up? When do you guys play again?
We play tomorrow in Athens, so we'll have an early flight. We get in Athens, we play the game, then thankfully I'm gonna stay there. I just want to make a comment about how you said even the high fives and everything, like it really makes a difference on the team. So the way my team is here that I'm playing at, we have players, many local players, all different ages. We have even some high school girls coming in. We have like the big transfers, which is me and some girls from the US. And then we have some players that have been playing in the team for years and they're like in their mid 30s, late 30s. And there was a phase earlier in the season when some of the players that we get very frustrated and they wouldn't high five the rest. And it's insane because you say now early on in the high school and you see it happening even now in the pro team. And subconsciously, this really gave a very negative energy in the team. It really affected everybody because, it's one player's frustration. They're frustrated with themselves, and it kind of comes off negatively in the rest of the team. And then I remember we won this big game, but because we had this among us, like there was this very negativity, no high fives and this and that, it really felt like a loss. And we did all these team meetings and stuff to talk about it because we're like, this is really not okay because it really brings everybody down. It's the simplest thing you can do. Sometimes even if you're tired from school, you're tired from work, but when you come on the court, you kind of have to fake it till you make it because the energy is so contagious. So yeah, this happened recently. You brought it up, so I had to mention it. And back on the trip, I also want to mention something. So in the week that you're gonna be here, so 25th of March is Greek Independence Day. So there will be a lot of celebrations all around the country. So it's a very special time that you're coming. It's in the spring. It's not gonna be the heat of the summer. It's not gonna be cold for the winter, but it's kind of like the Independence Week, and you will see many nice celebrations all around the cities that you're going. Especially when we do the drive from Athens to Thessaloniki, you will see all these different kind of villages as well. You see how they celebrate, what local foods they have. You're gonna learn a bit more on the history. So it's a very special time to be in Greece because nobody from the US usually comes this time, and it's something very unique you will experience. So definitely small. Whatever you read about Greek archaeology and everything, you're gonna really see it firsthand about the Greek history now. We're gonna visit all the sites, the Acropolis, the Thessaloniki, but you're gonna see how, even in this modern day, how we celebrate, and you will see how patriotic the Greeks are and how we are about our history and our ancestors. So it will be a very unique experience, and I will leave you at that.
No, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. Let's go. I'm ready to work for this, and it's gonna be work, but I'm excited about it for sure. And so, Nancy, thank you for all that you're doing for us and making this a special experience. She has given us a great deal on her services for everything and all the connections and how much she's saving us. So, Nancy, I really appreciate it. We'll definitely say good things. And if we're doing traveling again, or if any of the people are traveling, I'm sure. So we'll be in touch. Families know how to get in touch with me, and then I can get them in touch with you to answer questions or anything like that. But I appreciate you guys being here, and I hope you can see I'm excited and fired up about this. And I love the idea of the captain's course and 10 players from all over the state of Oregon, all over the West Coast, actually. There's going to be some kids joining from Nevada that'll play on Bobby's team. There'll be some kids from California. So we're really going to have 10 kids that are going to get to be really close, that are all going to have a similar foundation for success that we're going to help build. And I think that the captain's course is going to be beneficial. And so we're going to pick the 10 kids. So I know we've offered spots to I think 8 players that we're close to hopefully committing. And then if you're watching this and we haven't offered a spot yet, make sure you reach out to me. Right now is when you reach out. Like right now, like as this is going and you're watching on replay, now is when you text me at 503-708-4871. That's the number you text me on right now if you're watching this on replay and you haven't locked in or confirmed, or let us know that you're interested or that you're coming. So thanks, Cooper. It's great to see you. Look at, he's got the Max Hoops shirt on, and he's like, Mom, put the Grit shirt on. Mom, Mom. And look at that. She did. Grit. She's got the Grit shirt on. Look at that. Ready, representing. Thank you guys. It's great to see you, Zach, Dave. Thanks for joining. And
Hey,
we
Grant,
will
I have a
stop the
question.
recording. Go for it, Sonny.